Hi, Eight of Cups family. Welcome to your May readings. A quick reminder, guys, that this intro will be in the beginning of each and every video. If you're not interested in watching it over and over again, I do provide timestamps within the description box and the first comment of each reading. So if you've listened to this before, you can kind of skip past it and move on to your cards for that sign. The intro is a little bit about the astrology of the month, and it's really charged in May. That's kind of the word that I want to use, is charged. I think we're all really charged up. We're all ready for this change. Now, I've said it in a few of my videos. I don't mean to repeat myself, but it is true. We're in a 5-year and May is a 5-month. So there's a promise right there that there will be changes occurring. As well, with this new moon that moves into Taurus around May 11th, there's a significant shift because we move officially into eclipse season. Guys, I know most of us are seeing the signs. We're seeing the things. We're seeing the changes. We're seeing that things don't fit us anymore, or things that do seem to fit us better. And then there's like that whole hesitation thing. And the month of May actually does hold a lot of consequences. The decisions that you make now, the things that you choose, where you are kind of pushed, and how you react all play a really large role in your future self. So it's kind of important to take these transits pretty seriously. Now, we also have a lot of shifts in energy this month. We're moving from, the wonderful Venus placement in Taurus, where we got, I feel like, a few weeks to kind of enjoy our surroundings, enjoy the things that we have. We got to tap into a more sensual side. I think some of us were probably maybe like, I call it romanticizing our homes, enjoying our family a little bit, maybe getting into new routines, embracing the new weather, and making plans for the future, because Taurus season really is all about the making of the plans. How do we want the future to look? It also played a big emphasis on our values, of course. Things are playing out around us, and it's making us question, do we still believe in the things we believe in? Do we still want the things that we wanted? And as everything starts to make this transition into Gemini, first Mercury and then Venus, and then the Sun will all follow into a conglomeration of planets that are joining this North Node. It's pretty important to understand that May will be pretty revealing. It'll be revealing as to where we're going and what fits us. And there's a need to embrace the new, which means there's a need for the courage to let some things go. South Node, Sag. We're in eclipse season, guys. These nodes are super important. It's really important to know where they're falling in your chart, what areas of your life are being heavily affected by them. And probably the biggest news of the month is, and albeit a month full of eclipses, is the taste of Jupiter moving into Pisces. This is much different than Jupiter's energy in Aquarius. Jupiter tends to expand the energy. It makes it bigger, stronger. Jupiter moving into Pisces is going to have a very different feel. And what happens is Jupiter slips into Pisces just long enough for it to make a square over to that Mercury and Venus. And it starts to tell a story about what 2022 is going to be about. So you want to be really vigilant around the middle of the month. Start looking at the way that things are unfolding. There's a lot of emphasis of this Gemini placement. Now, about a year ago, we had Venus in Gemini go through a pretty serious retrograde period last May and June. We've been here before. We've been looking at these stories for a while, okay? This is not about like the new shocking things popping up. They will, of course. We have Uranus making a square to Saturn, but the ultimate issues are clear to you. You know, and I think a lot of it has to do with our ability to embrace the change, our ability to get curious, to start paying attention to our surroundings. Gemini does have a lot to do with our environments. Gemini rules the third house, and it's all about that creativity. And when you think of creativity and you pair it up with the intellectual, the intelligence of Gemini, you can make a lot of really wonderful things happen. Now, I always say, when I look at the fifth house really truly belongs to like creativity and joy, but it also can make you lazy. Jupiter in Pisces can also make you a little lazy. But all that third house energy gives you the new ideas, the new things that we're creating, the new directions that we're going in. And it's about exploring them. It's about opening up to the curiosity. It's about communicating, of course, having those conversations, expressing ourselves. And guys, as Saturn begins to move into this formation of the second square with Uranus, it's really important to stay true to ourselves and our authenticity. Saturn in Aquarius is going to make you separate yourself from like the group think. And that's super important right now, because part of what needs to change has been over the years of us kind of doing what society, what other people, what other structures in our life expected from us. And now the 2020 happened, 2021 rolls in, and we're like, well, why are we even doing it like this in the first place? You know, one of my favorite examples of this is kind of what happened when we all started to work from home. Like, there was almost a death of the 9 to 5. Of course, it's got its downfalls and it has its bonuses. We could work whenever we want, but we could also maybe always be working. We have to invite the new in, and we have to tweak it. And what this retrograde season is all about is the tweaking. Now, we have Mercury that's going to sit in Gemini for an extremely long amount of time. It's even retrograde longer than it typically is. So you can kind of look at this time, and it won't actually be retrograde until the very end of May. Mercury enters its shadow zone around May 15th. Close to the same time as a new moon in Taurus. We're starting to get things rolling. We're entering our shadow phase. And I just want to tell everybody it's okay to make the changes. It's okay to proceed, because Mercury is going to give you a chance to perfect it, to make the adjustments. It's not like about the big commitments. It's about just trying it. It's about being brave enough to just explore the possibilities. Now, we already had Pluto go retrograde, so there's definitely internal work as far as our power dynamics. Where do we give our power away? This is a time in which we take it back. In other words, if there are people in your life that manipulate you or tend to make you feel like you have to stay in this box, we're definitely in the process of growing out of the box. And Saturn is also going to station retrograde, and when Saturn stations retrograde, it does become a lot about the karmic cycles. There's things that are ending. There's old storylines in our lives that just simply don't fit us anymore. Those bad relationships, the unfulfilling jobs, the friendships just out of, social niceties. And those things are going to get phased out, and we have to be brave enough to embrace that. And by that, I mean it's going to take a lot of self-love. Moving into Cancer season soon. It's right around the corner. And the next several months, like I said, are extremely karmic period. The summer is an extremely karmic period. It's about the movement. It's about the processes, and it's about getting things started, guys. So really important to kind of tap in to the things that you truly want, okay? It's also really important to break out of habits of stagnation and what's keeping you small. So again, those relationships, those jobs, whatever it is where you feel like you have to kind of dim your light or you can't express yourself. And we're seeing this all the time on social media, right? Like, It's no lie that with Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, we're going to start to see the consequences of what happens when you deny our freedom of speech in a way, okay? There's consequences involved. Where are you denying yourself from speaking up, from standing up for yourself when you see that something's not right or something doesn't make sense or it's not in your authenticity or integrity? I think the next couple of months is like this opportunity to be like, you know what, this is just not for me. And it's not about you and it's not about us. And we're not going to take these things personally. We're just going to proceed in another area where it's more welcoming, where we could have a stronger purpose. All of this is because of our drive for the purpose. Our world is changing. Everything around us is changing. Our priorities, our structures are changing. And so we have to start to realize what really matters to us and what are the things that we can release. You know, if you're miserable in a job, it may be the time in which, regardless of financial status or burdens, it may be time to take the risk. Relationships as well. If you're staying in relationships as a means of security or as a way to not be alone, you could probably expect those ideas to kind of dissolve right in front of you. And when we have Jupiter moving into Pisces, it is really all about the surrendering. It is really all about the dissolving. And in order to fully embrace it, you have to have faith. You have to have faith in the universe that we're all moving in the direction that is right for us. And it doesn't mean that other people are wrong. It just means that this is what's right for you. And of course, when we take that kind of attitude on, there's a lot of people in our lives that can resist this because they need us to be this certain way. And so this is where the friction of the Saturn-Uranus square comes in. And it's about, like, what are you accountable for and who are you accountable to and what really matters. So a lot of self-inspection, reflection that's been going on over the past several months, that kind of comes to the surface now. It starts to like really take place in the material realm. There is no doubt that people will start to make the big moves, make the job change, move environments, change your houses, change your states that you're living in, change your political associations. It's all about the changing to reflect who we are now. And if it doesn't come from an authentic place of integrity, you can expect a lot more bumps in the road. But if you're going towards something that is reflective of your greater purpose and your destiny, you will find it to be the path of least resistance. So pay attention, guys. I hope you enjoy your cards, and I do hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful month, and I'll be back soon. Take care, guys. Bye. Capricorn, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot and welcome to your cards for May. I am so excited for this reading. I honestly feel for my Capricorns, like every month that I take these cards out for you, my heart expands. Honestly, I just feel lighter and more hopeful each time. So I just want to jump right into this, guys. As you heard, if you listened to the astrology recording in the first half of the video, we're in for some major changes. And for you, Capricorn, for certain major changes. Now, I love the ties to your 5th house as we have Uranus making a square to Saturn. And this time Uranus comes out a little bit stronger than Saturn, right? So we're going to be welcoming in some of these changes. Things can really take root now, and they're going to take root really fast. You've got Gemini energy in this intense retrograde Mercury in your 6th house with the Sun and with Venus. So really quickly, I just want to specify, Capricorns, your health is of the essence this month, okay? Now I get that with the Sun card coming out twice, which is a whole set of blessings in and of itself. Beautiful, beautiful news, but it means that you are in the process of good health and good fortune. Now, that doesn't mean that the ride there is going to be easy, right? You know how the saying, like, I've never met anybody who changed their life because they were happy with the way it was? Like, this is dedication to the change. And I think Capricorns are really ready. Like I've been saying, all of these, like we've been through all of these years of Pluto kind of kicking our butts. And now he's moving retrograde. And he's in this beautiful trine to Taurus in your 5th house. And he's like, but what about being happy? Have you tried just being happy? And I know it's such a foreign concept to my Capricorns. I know it's so different because we have this innate ability to need to climb the mountains. Capricorns are so not used to terrain that's just easy and free. And I think that's the change that ultimately is occurring within them. Now you this month, you are coming out as this Page of Swords. And I don't think I've ever been so excited to see this Page of Swords. I mean, you're surrounded by butterflies, which tells me that you are in full bloom, Capricorn. Like, this is a feat like no other because things are flying freely through the air. You kind of have this magnificent crown. And I like how the butterfly is kind of flying past it, insinuating that there's been expansion in your mind, expansion of your higher self, and that you are making the changes, that they are occurring within you, even some of which do not make sense at all. And the Page of Swords doesn't have any baggage. Like, he's so free. He's just swinging the sword around. Now, for some of you, the Page of Swords is a reminder that your words are very sharp. Now, for some Capricorns, your words are sharp and they are meaningful, and they should be. And if delivered correctly, Justice card, 8 of Wands, if delivered correctly, they could really affect a lot of people. But you can't say those things. You can't be that free unless you've dropped off all the emotional baggage. And that is why I'm so excited to see this Page of Swords here, because I think Capricorn has just gotten to the point where they are willing to start over, right? They're willing to say the things, to do the things, to try the things. Which tells me there's been a surrender. There's been a surrender. This is Capricorn spending years kind of up against this brick wall, and you keep going and going and hitting your head against this brick wall over and over, and you don't make any progress. And then suddenly you're like, well, maybe I'm just not supposed to go there. And when you find yourself in a place of not going there anymore, like a whole new world opens up to you. And you open to it. You become open to all the new possibilities. Do you know what you're doing? Probably not. Do you have all the answers? Absolutely not. Do you know how it's going to go? Nope. But you don't care. You don't care because you've done the planning thing, you've done the plotting thing, you've done the responsible thing, you've done carrying all of the work and all of the responsibility and all the heavy loads, and you just set them down. And this is Capricorn saying, I'm just going to go with the flow. And you are in flow. Reminder, you're in flow. Page of Swords is an air energy, and we are in all of this air energy. Your ruling sign, Saturn in Aquarius in your second house. If you're not doing the things you're meant to be doing, the universe is going to get you on the path, and the more you fight it, the more emotional baggage you're going to be carrying around, like lugging all of these rejections, all of these stops and starts, and why and how it didn't happen. And eventually, once there's just so much of it, you have no choice but to just let it go. And your environment is that of the Sun card. And this couldn't get any better. Couldn't get any better, because this is pure joy and happiness. And I think the universe is like, hey, why don't you try and see how this feels for you? And this energy, this Leo energy, the Sun card, is freedom. Freedom from the caring, freedom from worrying about the consequences. Saturn, retrograde, second house. If there's things that you're working on, if there's things that you're doing that just aren't working out, it's time to let them go. The universe has a whole different plan for you. Like it understood, like you planted the seed, and then maybe like you had an idea of what you wanted it to look like, how you thought it would all play out. And you keep trying and trying and trying to go after like this other thing, this path that you're determined that you think that you're supposed to go down. Until suddenly you just let go. And in the letting go, you let go of the stress, you let go of the expectations, you let go of the judgment of self. Like, this is a child in their happiness, a child here as well. This is a return to the childlike state. There's a return to innocence. And this child is naked, which means your environment is asking you to be open, to be authentic, to be naked. And that's because the universe is asking us to come up to a whole new level, Capricorn. Suddenly it's not about like what other people think. It's not about having the best of the best. It's not about material stuff. It's not about the best job title or, you know, the power and the control and the prestige. Now it's just about the joy. It's about doing the thing that you love. And it's about being supported when you're on your path. Now what I love, 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 love is that right underneath this Page of Swords we get nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. Okay, well, good news is we have eclipse season in the mutable moons. Gemini, mutable energy. Sagittarius, mutable energy. 6th house, 12th house stuff. It's all about the surrender. It's all about the letting go. Letting go of the subconscious drives to achieve or do all of the things. Nothing is yet set in stone. And here you are in the Page of Swords, and this is telling me that Capricorn is in this mental place where you'll just try whatever you feel like trying without like all of the heavy expectations. If you are out dating, this is exactly how I want you to be, because there is zero expectations. Just run out, meet for coffee. Maybe you'll fall in love. Maybe you'll meet a new friend. Maybe it'll be a great business contact. Who knows? But this is you not trying to frame it, not trying to make it into something, not trying to, where's this going to get me in 5 years? Do they want kids? Does this work out? Will our family, like, who cares? Who cares? Because maybe even that entire date will be a disaster, but you'll get a flat tire on the way home and meet the love of your life who stops at the side of the road to help you. Who cares? Surrendering the need to dictate how this is all going to work out and just allowing the universe to deliver it to you. And here we have the Sun card, and underneath we have, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? And there's elements of Capricorn that are really kind of out of character. Now, not out of character for you, but out of character for the people that know you. Capricorn's been so businesslike. Capricorn's been so hardworking and Saturnian and responsible and dutiful and loyal and, you know, all that stuff. The truth is, like, Capricorn's got like a freak side, you know? Capricorn's got some pretty cool hobbies you would never guess they were into. Capricorn maybe just wants to take a vacation. Maybe you just want to go out and sing karaoke one night and just have a blast. Just not worry about the judgment. Maybe for a lot of your life, maybe for a lot of time, you've been dimming the light. You haven't been telling people about the things that you love. You haven't been opening up. You've been so afraid that people would judge you or think differently of you or think less than of you. So you see the revolution. You see the personal growth that comes from this ability to just be you. You have no idea, when we finally strip down all of the crap that we carry, you have no idea how quick the universe rushes to bring you the things to match that vibration, because this is the vibration they want you to be in. Now, I am going to remind all of you right now, Mercury retrograde, 6th house, 12th house axis eclipses. Sure, maybe people are going to come back. Maybe people are going to have a change of heart. Maybe people are going to want to do things differently. I don't see Capricorns going backwards. I just don't. Now, I don't see you carrying emotional baggage or hurt or guilt or shame or regret or resentment. None of that. But I also don't see you willing to return to that old you. Willing to turn back into relationships or jobs or situations in which you couldn't be yourself. You weren't free to say the things and to be open and to be comfortable in your own skin. You know, if you've ever bought like oh my God, like a really expensive, itchy sweater. I don't know why this is a vision they're giving me of like this really beautiful wool sweater, but it's so itchy. It's really expensive and you really, really love it and you put it on and you wear it all day and you're so proud, but you're so uncomfortable. And finally, after all day, you get to go home and take that sweater off, you know, and just feel so much relief. What's the likelihood that you're going to wear that sweater again? What's the likelihood that you would invite yourself to go through a whole nother day of like that level of discomfort? Now, maybe some of you would, but most of you, I think, are really moving into a whole different phase of life. I think we're just doing things differently. And so here's where things get really interesting. And I love the symbolism here because I see this Knight of Swords and behind him is this beautiful Queen of Cups. This Knight of Swords seems to be clearing some kind of path. Now I'm looking at these cards and I'm seeing like a character here. Like there's an energy, a person in the Queen of Cups. There's a person in the King of Pentacles. I'm not so sure this Knight of Swords represents an actual person. It could represent a lot of people. It could represent like a lot of people that are insignificant. I don't say insignificant like you have no use for people, but you know, like people that aren't going to be the major players. And for some reason I just see like a Knight of Swords being like everybody's thoughts and opinions. Okay? Maybe the Knight of Swords is like a series of like really horrible dates. Maybe this Knight of Swords is like a whole bunch of obstacles. I feel this Knight of Swords is like super irritating to me, like all of these ways in which nothing seems to be working out. But the Knight of Swords is like hopeful, right? He's like rushing in there. He's like, nope, this is the one. This is going to work out. This is all going to happen. And then he doesn't. It doesn't. But underneath him is the Page of Wands. Underneath him is the Fool. And there's never been a cleaner, better energy. I think this Knight of Swords is plowing the fields, like preparing the path, clearing the debris so that you could find this freedom. Knight of Swords, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is your heart. It's what you love. It's who you are. That's your 7th house, Cancer, kind of who you are when you truly love. And I think that that's the part of Capricorn that wants to come out. I think that's the part of you that's actually being released. And I think that's what causes this Sun, because I think that is ultimately what Capricorn is looking for. Like, it's not just about the stability. It's not just about the 3D material stuff in life. There also needs to be love and compassion and nurturing, and this is a very mature energy. And this Knight of Swords is kind of like this determination to find your inner Queen of Cups. Maybe it means a whole bunch of bad dates. Maybe it means a whole bunch, like you got to kiss a lot of frogs, right? You got to kiss a lot of frogs to get to this King of Pentacles. You got to clear a lot of obstacles before you find that perfect job. But in the center, you know who you are. You know what you're worth. Queen of Cups. You see your value and you feel it. And the thing about the Queen of Cups, like all of the queens manifest, right? The Queen of Cups manifests through emotion. And so I think that this is Capricorn starting to really understand how this whole manifestation thing works. Like, even when life is throwing you a whole bunch of lemons, you could stand there and get hit in the head with them and still remain in this place of gratitude. Well, at least there's a whole bunch of lemons, right? It means the universe isn't giving up. It means at least there are opportunities. And I just don't see anything in your life bringing you down. Don't dim to fit in. Like, you, first and foremost, are not allowing any bad experiences to really get you down. Now, they might upset you. They might shake the apple tree. They might break the heart open a little. But ultimately, it's bringing you back to self. Ultimately, your ability to believe in this, that the sun energy is coming, that there is freedom, there is authenticity, there is connection, that it's on its way to you. And you stop fighting the universe and you start following the path. Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, the Fool. No emotional baggage whatsoever. The bad things come in, the hard situations. You know, Mars in the 7th, there could be some harsh words. There could be some harsh conversations, probably some things that were long overdue. And I just see Capricorn saying the things, not really worrying about it. And I just see Capricorn really stepping into their power, because they understand that the universe will give them exactly what they deserve, as long as they believe that they deserve it. I am just so almost emotionally like triggered by the freedom in these cards. Saturn square Uranus, your ruling planet. 2nd house, 5th house. What do you want, Capricorn? What makes you happy? Because you get it now. You name it, the universe makes it yours. So you knew better than to focus on the negative. You know better than to decide after one bad date, I'm never going to go on dates anymore. You know that after one bad experience or one nasty conversation with a coworker, it doesn't mean that you have to quit your job. You could kind of just let these things roll off of you. And that's what I see with this Page of Wands and the Fool. Like, the Page of Wands wants to taste life. He wants to experience it. He's curious. And the Fool is all too willing and able to do whatever the hell he wants. None of these people are worried about the consequences. None of these people are worried about what anybody else thinks. They're all moving from a different form of inspiration, but inspiration nonetheless. Here we have center of the reading, 8 of Wands, which is movement. It is alignment. This means that everything you want comes right to you. It's not a time to give up. It's not a time to quit things. It's not a time to go into any kind of hermit mode, to shut yourself off, hold your opinions to yourself. It's 4 of Pentacles in reverse. This is a time of abundance. This is a time of believing that you can have everything that you desire, everything that you can emotionally, creatively feel. Guys, look at this. King of Pentacles, the Justice card, and the Sun. You planted the seeds. And there's so much stability. You have nothing to be worried about, and you know that. King of Pentacles can be a little stubborn. King of Pentacles can take a really long time to change. Maybe you have a King of Pentacles who's taking a really long time, kind of slow to get this thing moving. That's okay. It is worth the wait. If this King of Pentacles is somebody that the Queen of Cups is wishing and hoping for, the King of Pentacles is wishing and hoping for it too. If this is a couple that's already together, this is such a beautiful match, because you have this watery, loving, feminine, receiving kind of energy, and then you have this person here who is proud to provide. Maybe for some of you, you've been doing things on your own for so long that the universe had to do a whole lot of work to get you to kind of strip down to the place where you can receive this kind of love and support from others. Justice card, the Sun. Your ruling planet, your second house going retrograde. This looks like good karma. Because you've done the work, because you've made the adjustments, because you've plowed through those obstacles, because you didn't get discouraged when everybody said no, because you didn't dim your light just because it wasn't the thing everybody wanted you to do. Queen of Cups, bottom of the deck is a King of Cups. This is exactly what you are attracting. Your perfect match. Some of you have met them. Some of you, they're on their way. Some of you are going to be going through a lot of frogs first. If this is a creative endeavor, the solidity is coming, the dependability, the long-term contracts. If you're starting a business, you'll start to see rewards. For some of you, your side hustle turns into something that allows you to leave the 9-to-5. For some of you, you go on enough bad dates, but because you don't lower your standards or settle or lose faith in the way that this all works, they come. Your vibrational match right to you. But I do want to warn you, Capricorns, or if you're here cross-watching for another Capricorn, if there is a Capricorn that is losing faith, if there is a Capricorn that is stuck, you're still in this manifesting mode. So it would be a real shame to waste this kind of manifesting energy on negative thoughts, because there's so much potential. Here we have this card, number 19, flexible. 19 breaking down to a 10, end of a cycle. I love that card here when we have this Four of Pentacles here, because it's all about the release of control. You know? Like any preconceived notion that we had in our heads, like it's going to be with a person like this, or this person's going to have this job, or we're going to move to this city, and like we have all these predetermined expectations, right? And the whole magic lies in the fact that there's no expectations. You have no idea how this stuff is going to get here, and you shouldn't care. Just focus on the fact that it's coming, that you're going to feel it so soon, and it's going to be so fulfilling. And the universe is going to throw you some obstacles. I mean, not everything's going to be easy breezy. You're not just going to slip into the sun. But the shit that occurs in the meantime isn't really going to matter. It's going to roll right off your shoulders. Oh, that door closes? Let's go this way. Oh, that door closes? Must be because we're meant to try this. And it's all about the trying. It's not about the long term. It's not about knowing where it's going, how it's going to work out. It doesn't matter. The universe wants you to remain flexible. There could be some really cool opportunities, you know. And we could be really easy for us to judge them quickly. Like, oh, that job's too far away. Oh, I can't take that. Oh, that person lives too far away, or blah, blah, blah. You don't know. You don't know how it's all going to work out. Like, you just don't. It's not a real good idea to make predetermined decisions. You're in swords. You're in wands. It's all about the new. It's all about the light. It's all about the easy. Nothing heavy should be happening. If you're feeling heavy, get out of it. Doesn't belong there. And then this card here that we got, Eyes of the Eagle Rising Above the Fray, card number 18. I do want to read this card to you. Eyes of the Eagle, protection, inherent trust, and rising above the fray. The Eyes of the Eagle offers you the gift of foresight, the skill of looking ahead to see the unfolding of destiny before it all manifests as reality. The eagle's extraordinary vision allows it to spot the tiny mouse from its lofty perspective as it flies thousands of feet into the atmosphere. In a similar fashion, you too can train your keen eye to discern the workings of humans. Eyes of the Eagle is an invitation to witness the good, the bad, and the ugly and the beautiful, yet react to nothing. Act only to further your noblest calling. The eagle flies above all the creatures. When it meets obstacles, it simply rises above them. Know that you are protected. You can fly high above the judgment slings and arrows and the darts of envy from others who may not have your great wings and are still arguing with the pigeons over the crumbs. Trust that you are ready for whatever fortune has placed before you, even if you feel not yet properly equipped to meet its challenges. Your willingness to say yes to spirit has nothing to do with how well outfitted you are. Hesitating, on the other hand, will suck the air from under your wings and make you lose altitude. You are called now to trust your heart and your instincts, to move fearlessly and not waver. The time is right, and no harm can come your way if your motives are pure and you act courageously. Oh, I just love it so much, Caps. Love this reading. Okay, well, that definitely kind of closed it all up perfectly, guys. I love you so much. I feel like you've got so much good stuff coming finally after all of this. Capricorn, it's your turn to raise the vibration. I love it, guys. Okay, so I will try to drop by soon for maybe a pick a pile for the eclipse readings. And otherwise, I will be rolling right into the June readings pretty soon, guys. So take care. I send you the best of luck. I love you guys so much. Have a great month. Bye.